You have heard it 1,000 times already, and I'm pretty sure people are telling this game is getting overrated. Well, I understand that. This game has exploded everywhere and has become a subculture on its own. At least from what I've seen, it's not like Five Nights at Freddy level. Just go to a game theory comment section, you can see what I mean. Now, I'm going to talk about the game Undertale. Cause it's me and I want to talk about it, I can't let this go. First, a little background on what is Undertale. Undertale is created by Toby Fox and was a Kickstarter project on June 24, 2013. His asking goal was $5,000, but tripled the amount of his asking price at $51. So this small game was going to be a small project, but got huge. In the Kickstarter page, there was also a demo that you could play, and this is why this game got huge. Now, I haven't played the demo myself, but I'm expecting it's just the first 30 minutes of the game in there. But I started hearing about this game because of its demo, and got me curious. So I saw the trailer for it, and I felt instantly that this game was going to be something special. Now, 2015, Undertale is out. I've done 2 playthroughs of this game just to be sure I got the grasp of what I fully want to speak out. I truly don't understand myself why I have such hard time explaining what this game is about, because a lot of things. Undertale is mostly a comedy game at the roots of Earthbound, but since I never played Earthbound, I cannot make too many similarities other than Earthbound is a pretty damn unique JRPG game with comedy and great characters. Undertale is kind of on the same spectrum. While it has its Earthbound connection, in terms that it's an RPG game, it's totally different from its root. In Undertale, you play as a small child called, well, you name your character, so my character is Sonic. But let's give it another name. How about Roman? The story is pretty basic. Human and monster used to live together, but a battle sparked out between humans and monster, and a war between the species occurred. After a long battle, human won the war, but also putting the monsters into the ruin inside a mountain, sealing them forever. Every other 1,000 of years, a human falls from the top of the mountain into the ruins, and this time you, Roman, falls into the ruin, and your quest starts. The first character you meet is Flowey the Flower, and the first thing you do with Flowey is to learn how to defy the mechanic word. Huh? You heard of Flowey before? Odd. Well, he's a character, but not to spoil any much, he tried to attack you, and Toriel, Goat Mom, save you, and teach you the way of the ruins. Now, the game basically begins. The writing in this game is phenomenal. Better writing than this review that I'm doing. At the moment of writing, I probably have like 1,000 grammar fuck up that a grammar Nazi could commit seppuku in front of me. Probably. I love that in some character they give them different fonts and grammar to give them a sense of characters. I love that. It truly does work well. The chemistry between characters is so deliciously well done that you cannot stop yourself to voice act them somehow. Or maybe it's just me.
That's the trash can! Feel free to visit at any time.
Never again. One of my favorite characters for me is Sans and Flowey. Sans cause he's a sarcastic smartass, but it's truly a deep character when you got to talk to him more. And Flowey. Well, let's say he's a unique individual. Somehow I got a feeling you met with him before. Don't worry about it. Now, for the fighting mechanic, if you want to call it that, there's 2 or 3 things to talk about the whole mechanic. Let's go in with the easiest one, fighting. In fighting, you attack enemies to kill them to earn SP and love, which is the way they call it in this game. But killing too much can affect the story, but I'll let that up to you. Now, the other way to fight enemies is by acting on them. In other words, talking to them. You could talk to your enemies to make them stop fighting. Once you find a way to make them stop fighting, you can spur them, but you gain no SP from them, only gold. You have heard of games before in having to choose killing or not killing people, but instead being a challenge of a moral system. This game feels totally different on how it treats this, but I talk more in the spoiler section. Now, for the third part of the fighting mechanic, is defending. This is totally different from any other RPG out there. While in an RPG, when enemies attack you, it goes into an RNG moment to hope they don't do too much damage or miss. In this game, you play games inside in the defense position, dodging incoming attacks with different patterns and movement. Some other boss fight could change on how you defend yourself, making it a whole different genre, and can be also a bullet hell. Defending yourself is actually way more fun than going to your enemies and talking to them or attacking them. It's truly something special. Now for the soundtrack. I cannot tell you how much I love this soundtrack. I love the way it combined 8-bit, chiptune, electric, and real instrument all together to create an atmosphere to each area. There are around 100 of tracks in the soundtrack alone. You've been hearing through the video, and there's more where it came from. It also makes a lot of emotional moments be so damn powerful. And it can also be scary as fuck in some moments. Now, I feel this is the final part. We're people who don't want to get spoiled by the whole experience, but it's so hard how to explain this game without being spoiled. It's one of those games that you want to truly experience without knowing anything beforehand. Like I did. This game is full of heart and humanity. It hurts so much just to reset the game alone. It's such a heartwarming adventure with great characters and moments. Just go and play this game. But it's time for spoilers! Why Undertale? There's so many games that want to give you the player experience of being truly there, as giving an open world with character face modification to make you feel immersed. And a lot of games does that make well. But Undertale is kind of different. Once you start playing this game is aware of your presence. It's always taking note of what you do in the background. You got games like Walking Dead who notify you always that you might be doing something wrong and can lead you into something bad. It totally kills the immersion because it reminds you that this is a story and nothing else. But I'm not saying Walking Dead is a bad game. Undertale is aware of you. Make sure you are in the story. I have done 2 playthroughs of this game, Pacifist and Normal, and both playthroughs has been incredible for me. Even me in the spoiler section, it's hard to convey why I love this game so much. Well, this game has a morality system, pretty much stuck in the fighting mechanic. Well, if you do certain stuff, you could play a totally different game than my first playthrough, and that's fantastic. You know, you got games like Metal Gear Solid, which give you an option to kill or stun people, but it doesn't do much to the story, honestly, other than the river part in Metal Gear 3, which is a fantastic part of the game. This game has one of the best full war breaking moments in any game, but I feel the game in itself is a whole huge full war moment. Keeping that in mind, this is how this game begins to start to be unique. This game works with the player on itself. It understands that you being in part of the world is what makes the soul of this game work. I don't mean by just playing the game. Playing the game on itself is one part. You are a character, but a character that you yourself created by this game. Your moments and feelings for the character is your own. Fallout does this, but as a character in the game. Flowey, on the other hand, why is my favorite character in this game? Well, he's the only one that recognizes you outside the game. He knows that you have a power that no one in this world has. A power to shift the world as you want. You got the determination of never die. You got the power of saves. You got the power of resetting the world. And also the power of destroying it. Flowey knows this. And that's why he won your soul. By the end of a neutral run, once you got all the human soul, he gained the power you used. He crashed your game and make it his own. So you got to beat him with the help of other soul, not to save the world, but also to save the game. This game understands the power of game development, and as in making the game, the software itself is a thing that the game recognizes itself. So, what about the power of destroying the world? Well, there's also a thing called a genocide run. I still haven't done that myself, and I got no heart to do it because it's a run where you kill every single character. Well, here's what different. The morality system in this game has consequences. Not in the game, but also outside the game. If you do a run like this, it will bring consequences. Also really creepy ones and stuff. I'm not scared of that, but it's not feeling and unique to this game alone. Games like Mass Effect, you will do a Paragon the first time, but you want to do a good ending and stuff. But then you can do a Renegade run, because you can, there's no consequences. Well, in Undertale, we'll keep in mind of what you did. If you do a Genocide run and then do a Pacifist run, you still won't get the same result as doing a Pacifist alone. Genocide has one fucking epic boss fight though. In fact, Genocide run has all the hardest boss fight in the game, cause you kill every single NPC. Undertale is one of the few games that make me care about NPC as if they were real. The full wall breaking didn't break my immersion at all. In fact, it didn't improve it. It's still hard to put in words what this game makes me feel, but one of those games that you could call a genre-defining game. Undertale is an instant classic in my eyes, and my game of the year. Undertale will challenge your perspective in NPC video game entertainment as a medium. It will let you understand the consequences of choice you choose are real, will stay stuck, and depending on what you do, you will never be able to play the game again. I think as my final word, Undertale is a truly special unique game that I will never come by again in the coming months or year. It's that first experience with Silent Hill or Resident Evil, that Half-Life game that changed FPS forever, that Shenmue or GTA 3 that has changed open world forever. That's how high I'm putting this game on my favorite game list. I found it difficult to hate this game myself. Well, that's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching and see you on the other side. See ya.